The CIA, three letters that can send shivers down your spine, or make you think of Jason Bourne in a very tight t-shirt. Either way, the Central Intelligence Agency has a reputation. They operate in the shadows, they gather intelligence, and sometimes, they meddle in the affairs of other countries. But how far does this meddling go? Is it just cloak and dagger stuff, or does it extend to things like music, movies, and even cats? Hold on to your tinfoil hats, folks, because things are about to get weird. We all know the CIA likes secrets. That's kind of their thing. But some secrets are bigger than others. We've heard whispers of coups, assassinations, and all sorts of shady dealings. But what about the CIA's influence on our culture? Can an organization that operates in the dark also pull the strings of the things we see and hear every day? The answer, my friends, is a resounding maybe. And that maybe is way more unsettling than a firm no. Because here's the thing, the CIA has a history of using unconventional methods to achieve its goals. We're talking about everything from mind control experiments, look up MKUltra if you dare, to using animals as spies. And when it comes to shaping public opinion, they've been known to dabble in a little something called cultural diplomacy, which in layman's terms, is a fancy way of saying propaganda. Now let's rewind the clock a bit. The Cold War, a time of paranoia, suspicion, and really bad fashion choices. The US and the Soviet Union were locked in an ideological battle for the hearts and minds of the world, and both sides were willing to use every tool at their disposal. For the CIA, that included the arts. Music in particular became a potent weapon in the Cold War. Jazz, with its message of freedom and improvisation, was seen as a powerful counterpoint to the rigidity of Soviet ideology. The CIA poured money into promoting American jazz musicians abroad, sending legends like Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie on goodwill tours behind the Iron Curtain. The goal? To win over hearts and minds with syncopated rhythms and soulful melodies. But the CIA's musical meddling didn't stop there. They also secretly funded the creation and distribution of anti-communist music, often disguised as harmless pop songs. These musical Trojan horses were designed to slip past the censors and plant seeds of dissent behind enemy lines. It was like a Cold War version of Spotify, but with more espionage and fewer ads for mattresses. Fast forward to today, and the battleground has shifted from concert halls to the digital world. Big tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter have become the new arbiters of information. And guess who's been cozying up to them? That's right, our old friends at the CIA. Now before you start accusing me of wearing a tinfoil hat, let me be clear. There's no concrete evidence that the CIA is directly controlling what you see on your Facebook feed. Although, let's be honest, that wouldn't be the most surprising thing, would it? But there's definitely a revolving door between Silicon Valley and the intelligence community. Former CIA agents are now working for tech giants, and vice versa. And that kind of proximity to power is bound to raise some eyebrows. The concern is that this close relationship could lead to the suppression of dissenting voices, or the promotion of pro-US propaganda online. After all, these tech companies have the power to control algorithms, censor content, and shape the narratives we see every day. And when you have that kind of power, it's not hard to imagine how it could be used for less than noble purposes. So, we've talked about music, we've talked about tech, but what about the really weird stuff? Because let's face it, no conversation about the CIA would be complete without mentioning their penchant for the bizarre. And when it comes to espionage, they've tried it all. Take for instance Acoustic Kitty. This top-secret project from the 1960s involved surgically implanting a microphone and transmitter into a cat. The idea was to use these feline operatives to eavesdrop on conversations in embassies and other sensitive locations. Unfortunately, the project was a dismal failure. Cats, it turns out, are notoriously bad at following orders. Who knew? But the CIA's animal adventures didn't end there. They've also experimented with using pigeons as aerial photographers, dolphins as underwater saboteurs, and even insects as miniature surveillance drones. And while most of these projects never made it past the prototype stage, they do give you a glimpse into the CIA's willingness to explore every possible avenue, no matter how outlandish it may seem. So there you have it. The CIA masters of espionage, dabblers in cultural manipulation, and occasional employers of furry operatives. Are they secretly controlling the world? Probably not, but are they capable of some pretty shady stuff? Absolutely. And in a world where information is power, that's something we should all be keeping an eye on, and maybe investing in a good tinfoil hat, just in case.